Of Utatu Nelson Mandela will be held at the FNB Stadium in Johannesburg from 11 o'clock this morning. Now, over 90 heads of state have been confirmed. They've confirmed their attendance at Madiba's memorial service. Some guests had already started arriving on Sunday, with US is with us this morning, at least I should say, is Gauteng's province's premier, Nomvula Mokonyane. Very good morning, team, and thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
It's a huge logistical project that you've undertaken. How prepared are we so far?
We're quite ready. The residents of Gauteng and the people of South Africa have a baseline, which is the World Cup, but this is almost 100 times the World Cup. The number of heads of states, dignitaries who are just coming in, people who just find themselves in the country. But what is of importance, there's a plan throughout all our entrance into Gauteng, into South Africa. Soccer City, there's access control. We've got 4 overflow stadia. We will also be directing those that are coming from outside of the province. And of importance, we've got morning sites beyond the 4 bigger stadiums that we have across the municipalities of Gauteng. We've got trains that have started functioning from 3 o'clock this morning. We've got an additional 745 buses that we have also put in late yesterday. All in all, we've got 5,000 buses that would actually be moving in and around the province to make sure that we ferry people. We are encouraging those who have not yet been accredited to go straight to Nasrec and get their accreditation, especially those that are already loaded on the system.
I understand it's a multidisciplinary approach. It involves ministers of police, it involves transport, it involves international relations. Tell us a bit about the plan, the strategy that you've come together with to say this is what we're going to do, you do this, you do that, and the tasks involved.
Firstly, we look at the icon, Utata, and say the kind of person requires this, because the response will be like this. And out of it, then you assemble a number of competencies that have to come in across the 3 spheres of government, including civil society, the private sector, and so forth. And therefore, different ministries then get pulled in under the leadership of the presidency. And precisely because Tata has said the ANC is his family, you also have the leg of the ANC that has to be very involved in ensuring that there is content and character of who the man is coming from his home. And of course, the inclusion of all other parties, various institutions, various sectors. The religious sector is very involved here. The cultural sector, the traditional leadership is quite involved. And finally, you have to have the face. And the face is the president. The chief mourner will be the Mandela family, Mrs. Graça Machel, accompanied by the entire family, supported by the president of the Republic of South Africa and all other dignitaries. You have leaders of the continent, Africa, leaders of the United Nations, you've got leaders of a small municipality somewhere and leaders of a little branch somewhere. Everybody is here to celebrate the life of that.
And of course, not forgetting ordinary South Africans who play such a pivotal role in the life of Madiba as well.
We must thank ordinary South Africans. They've braved the weather, the elements. Our streets have been sites of like festivals, and most importantly, there's been also respect for law enforcement instruction. Even now in Soccer City, we had people coming in as early as 1:30, but they are actually cooperating. And what is of importance is that we are the best hosts. We will actually give our hosts the best of what South Africans are known about, and of importance, we must, wherever we are, if you can't get to Orlando, you can't get to Dobsonville, you can't get to the morning site, which was commonly known as a public viewing area in your township, switch on your television, make your street a site of a festival, celebrate. No alcohol abuse, no other dangerous weapons will be allowed in that in the areas where we are hosting. And most importantly, let's not bring children, because at the end of the day we'll have serious challenges, especially with children who are not protected. Every bus has a marshal, every bus has a coordinator. We've got a hotline, 086 00 11 000, for any inquiry around issues related to transport. That is the Gauteng Premier's hotline. We have converted that into the Mandela hotline.
That number again, 086
00 11 000.
Okay.
You don't send an SMS, please call me.
No, please
call
call
them
me.
and they will respond. Don't be like Madiba. Yes.
There we go. We'll continue to give out that number just so people can give you a call
Thank
if they
you
need to
very
find
much.
anything
Yes.
out. But another thing that you mentioned that was very important, I think, for me is cooperation.
Yes.
Those who are stuck in traffic for whatever reason because of the road closures need to bear that in mind.
Absolutely.
Those who are coming need to be early and punctual.
Absolutely.
Those who are turned away need to understand that this is what's happening.
Thank
It's
you.
a huge
Thank
project.
you. Let's cooperate. Anything that we're doing, we must emulate the men. Tolerance, cooperation, discipline, the love for one another.
Yeah. Order, yeah. Having order. I think just listening to some of the discourse that has come about, people saying, you know, for funerals and memorial services, in the African culture, you don't invite people. And in the African culture, you shouldn't have to sign in for accreditation, etc. But I think what they need to understand is that this is not just a local thing. This is not just for South Africa.
You know,
this is the world
absolutely.
coming together. This is not just any person we're
For
talking
me,
about.
if you talk about a United Nations General Council of the young and old, rich and poor, this is it. South Africa is like a convention of the United Nations. We've got nations coming together, and therefore we have to make sure that we know who is around, we manage the movement of each and every individual, and in our own African culture, when there are guests, you even step down from your bed and give space to the guest, and you take out your best tea set to present the best tea to the guest, even if it is yours. That's how we have grown up, and I think it's that we have to do. Give way to those that have come to mourn with us, to celebrate with us, so that tomorrow they may come back again.
Yeah, and I remember my mother as well. When there were visitors,
Yeah.
you take out those mugs that nobody touches.
has ever used.
You've
And you
never
have the
used
best
them.
meal even that day,
It's
yeah?
true.
Because
It's so true.
so let's continue to do
Yeah.
it the South African, the African way. Share a bit with the guests, and we'll all find our space when guests have left. The entire program in earnest is going to end on the 16th of December when we unveil the statue at the Union Building. And I think, again, we'll find the space to celebrate. Viewing the body lying in state, Gauteng, we have buses that are going to take residents to the Union Buildings. But for today, raise the flag, love one another, respect, obey the rules, do it for Mandela.
Now, I've been told to wrap. I know we're pressed for time, but I must just ask you, how are you doing and how's your team doing? Sleepless nights, I'd imagine.
We're not sleeping. Early hours of today, we had to make some interventions, provision of meals for about 4,000 other dignitaries. But you know what pumps our adrenaline? We're doing it for Madiba.
Doing it for Madiba. Premier, let's leave it there. Thank you so much for
very
joining us. All the best to you and for the preparations as well. And South Africans, you heard that clarion call for us to cooperate with the officials to fly the flag and be the South Africans that Madiba would have wanted us to be on this day. Let's take a look at this.